Amgen is a major US biotechnology company, and its blockbuster products include, you know these well.
Neupogen, which is what you take if you need your red or white blood corpuscles to be stimulated because you've had chemo or something. Enbrel, which is for rheumatoid arthritis. And then coming down the pipeline is a drug called Repatha, which is for accelerated or heightened levels of cholesterol. It's like silver bullet. It'll work much better than the statins.
Market cap $114.8 billion US dollars. Price to earnings ratio here 15.6. Dividend yield of 2.9%. Obviously, this is one that Paul likes. His clients have it as well within the broader Vestact portfolios. Do you share his enthusiasm on Amgen?
I'm a bit hot and cold on Amgen at the same time, but Paul's clients, and Paul would be very, very happy about the last month and what's happened in the US courts regarding that cholesterol drug. I mean, these guys were, the expectation from the market was that other guys were going to be able to utilize that technology to create the same sort of drug with a similar kind of launch timeline, and the court just kind of blocked it. So there's still technically 4 days for the competitors to appeal, but tentatively this is a very positive sign for them. Amgen is expecting a little bit of a patent lift towards the beginning parts of the 2020s, and this drug being launched, or the planned launch being in 2020, will kind of mitigate that risk a little bit.
Well, let's look at the share price graph if your clients are happy with the recent performance.
Yeah, so it's sort of been bouncing around, but Chantal has put her finger on it. There was a challenge with a drug called Praluent by Regeneron and Sanofi, which is basically the same thing. Why this drug is so important? It costs $14,000 a year to be on Repatha. It's an injectable instead of taking oral statins, but it actually works. You can eat whatever you like. You can eat donuts, you can drink Coke. It'll lower your cholesterol and reduce inflammation and clogging in your arteries. You know, the typical thing that leads to heart disease. So I think this drug is going to be very big for Amgen, and it'll probably get into rounds of further innovation where it'll become easier to take, because having an injection the whole time is not that great.
Before you go to Dunkin' Donuts, they can give you an injection in the line, and you can eat as many donuts as possible.
And it basically lowers your bad cholesterol only, so it doesn't deal with your... So it's, when I said earlier it's a silver bullet, this is the kind of drug which can sell billions and billions of dollars and have a major impact.
Anything else to add before we call it hot or not?
Yeah, so my cold portion on this stock is Enbrel, which is its rheumatoid arthritis drug. We've seen sales momentum slow quite significantly. It's their biggest seller, and its earnings over the last couple of quarters have been supported by cost cutting instead of revenue growth, and that is never a sustainable way for a company to grow earnings. So that's just one little concern, but they have big drugs coming out, and maybe that'll change.
So do you call it on the back of that, or are you going to call it, because you've said you hot and cold, which way are you going to swing? So we wait with bated breath.
So because of the derating in US pharmaceuticals towards the end of last year, the multiple that it's trading on really doesn't look that demanding. So from a pure valuation perspective, it'll have to be hot.
It's hot. Paul?
Yeah, sometimes you feel like you need a chemistry degree or a biopharma training to assess these companies, but I think overall that and other stuff that's coming through is enough to give them. It's a big company, so it's not like one of these tiny farmers where it's either going to win or lose, you know, make $1 billion or go out of business. It's a much more calm way of being in the biotech industry, so hot for me for sure.